this exploration of holding paradoxes in restful states. Are we holding anything in rest states? No, that's the point. The paradox exists. We try to hold it. We try to make sense of it. We feel agitation, contraction, tension. How do we approach this conundrum in a way that opens up the possibilities? There is a centering here in terms of an antidote. This radical self-love, this possibility. I have a little reflection. We start this journey putting ourselves in the center of the medicine wheel. We have needs. The healing of our bodies must be a part of how we unpack things that we don't know about ourselves, how we've been programmed, how we've been trained, cultured, nurtured, on the way towards a deeper understanding of nature, the nature within, our true nature, the natural world nature of which we are a part. In the circle, we all have an equal seat at the council fire. Our pathway of healing requires a great amount of self-love and self-compassion. What does that space look like? I offer this short reading. This is Octavia Rahim, and her book is called Gather. This reflection is called Self-Love is an Energy and Action. I am worthy of the time it takes to love and nourish myself deeply. Can you relate to this? Let's say I'd commit to a 3 times a week practice starting on Monday. Day 1, great, I practiced. Day 2, I'm going to need to shorten my practice. Day 3, I'm too busy. My son oddly woke up too many times last night, too many meetings, too many emails. I can't deal. Next week, the same thing. Except now day 2 is looking like day 3. A pattern forms and continues. Now weeks have turned into months. I'd say something to myself like, don't beat yourself up for not practicing or doing that thing to nourish yourself. That's not kind. You don't need another thing to feel bad about. Isn't the real beating staying in the cycle of not nourishing and honoring ourselves? Doesn't that further perpetuate feeling bad? More than holding myself accountable for doing what I said I would do to fuel myself? Here's the thing. The not kind thing is ignoring our own needs. The not kind thing is denying self the deeper breath. The not kind thing is refusing to ask for support or help when we need it. The not kind thing is allowing our boundaries to be so porous that our energy is continually leaking. For me, it's not resting or overcommitting, and it's also something seemingly simple like not drinking enough water makes me feel porous. The not kind thing is running on E and continuing to run. Being kind to myself is being brave enough to commit to myself and keeping those commitments. This is brave because it requires staring down so much conditioning, so many systems and beliefs to honor self. It's remembering and owning. Self-love is an energy and action. I am worthy of the time it takes to love and nourish myself deeply. And the reflection is, what does being more kind to yourself look like? Feel like, sound like, even taste like. What are the tastes on the tongue right now? What is the feeling of the atmosphere on your skin? What are the sounds you hear? Sounds that are close by? Sounds that are distant? Sounds that are known? Sounds that are unknown? Identifiable, unidentifiable. What are the smells surrounding you as they dance through little hairs in the nostrils? As breath comes inside the body. Whether your eyes are open or closed, doesn't matter. You might like to close them, or you can just wait for the moment where the eyes lids become so heavy and you're just ready to. You cannot fight it anymore. And the eyelids comfortably close. And there, we find the screen of the mind just behind the eyelids. If the eyes are open, is the gaze becoming diffuse as you relax? Is relaxation eluding you right now? Is there a way to make your body more comfortable? More pillows under the knees, ankles, feet? An extra blanket? Something under the back of the head? Know that this honoring of the body, this is part of a ritual of self-love. You're not doing anything wrong to move, wiggle, adjust at any time. Is there a way that you could do it as to not disturb your emergent rest? Slowly but surely, we can take those sense organs and turn them inwards. It's like the sounds that are dancing on your ears, the left ear and the right ear. Oh, they take a little spiral dance of their own, from the outer ear to the middle inner ear, bouncing off the eardrums and cartwheeling through the crystals in the ears, liquid-filled spaces as they noodle on into the interior of the body. The eyes heavy, sight turning inwards. The body gets a little heavier. The breath starts to slow down. It's not a guarantee, but if we describe a typical settling, we find these sensations. As heaviness emerges in the body, so does lightness. Maybe the back body, it's natural. Force of gravity, the fluid in the body is settling in the back. Take yourself down the whole back side of the body, from the back of the head and neck and shoulders, whole of back body to the spine, curves of spine, settling bones, hip bones settling, backs of thighs and knees and calves, the heels. There's a contrast. Back side of the body settles, front side of the body is lightening from tips of toes and tops of feet, ankles and shins, knees and thighs, front part of the pelvic bowl, the belly and chest, shoulders and neck, the tops of arms, the face, crown of head. Isn't that so interesting to feel heaviness and lightness in the body at the same time? And it's changing, morphing, growing. That's not to say that there's not heavy places in the front part of the body. What if we took ourselves from the crown of the head down the front part of the body? Maybe there are heavy places there, all the way down to tips of toes. And if we went up the back body, might we find light places there? Back of ankle, back of knees, curve of back, back of neck. Who knows? It could be anywhere. Isn't it so fascinating? We can feel heaviness and lightness in this still, restful moment. Something is still. Find something in your body that feels still. Content. Find a place in the body that's moving. The chest is moving as you breathe. The belly is moving as you breathe. Peristaltic movement in the intestines, from esophagus all the way down to anus. That's moving. Gurgling in the belly as the body eases in towards rest. It's moving. Isn't that interesting? There are places that are static and places that are moving in this body at the same time. I wonder what else we might discover if we take a little circumambulation around this sacred form, this landscape of body. With a sense of discovery, we're going to hold up the magnifying glass, shine the spotlight on the tip of the right hand thumb, and the right index finger, middle, ring, and pinky fingers. The palm and back of the right hand and the right wrist. The right forearm. The landscape of the elbow. Right upper arm and right shoulder. Whole right arm. What might we discover? Bring the mind to the tip of the left hand thumb. Let's investigate. Left thumb, left index finger, left middle finger, left ring finger, left pinky finger, palm and back of the left hand, left wrist, forearm, the landscape of the elbow and left upper arm, left shoulder, whole of the left arm. Taking a little dance from there, discovering left ribs and spaces between the ribs. left abdomen, left that little space between the final rib and the top of the hips on the left side, left hip, left thigh and knee, calf and ankle, left foot, top and bottom, left tips of toes. Left bottom of foot, left back of calf, left back of knee, left buttocks, left thigh, left side of the back, lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulder blade on left side, top of shoulder, heart space, right collarbone, right ribs and spaces between ribs. Right abdomen, right? That little space between the bottom rib and top of hips. Right thigh, hip, right knee and calf. Right ankle and top of foot to tips of toes. Big toes, second, third, fourth, littlest. Right sole of foot and heel. Right ankle, back of ankle. Right calf. Right knee, right thigh, right buttocks. Up the right side of the back, lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulder blade, top of shoulder, right collarbone, the neck, the chin, left jaw, right jaw, left ear, right ear, right cheek and left cheek, left nostril, right nostril, both nostrils at the same time. The lips, lower, upper, the teeth, right side, left side, upper palate, lower palate, little places underneath the tongue. Left eye, right temple, left temple, left lobe, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, the space between the eyebrows. Left forehead, right forehead, the hairline, top of head, crown of head. The whole of the right side of the body. What does the whole of the right side of the body feel like? The whole of the left side of the body. What does the whole of the left side of the body feel like? What does the right and left sides of the body feel like at the same time? The whole body at the same time. At the same time. At the same time. In this moment, we can be feeling the body and observing the body at the same time. We're still holding heaviness and lightness. What would it be to actually hold it, though? Like in your left hand, you're holding an iron anvil. In this game, it's totally possible. In the left side, an iron anvil, and in the right side, a feather. Left hand, iron anvil. Right hand, a feather. What would it feel like to hold those two at the same time? It's just like the experience of being open to some things and being closed to other things. It's so human. I can be open to one idea. I can be closed towards another. What does it feel like in the body to hold those two at the same time? Run the experiment. Think of something that you're open to. Like something radical. A political ideology or radical thought, something anti-authoritarian or anti-capitalist. What is something that you are totally open towards? And now think of something that you're totally closed to. And this is just a game you're playing with yourself. Nobody will ever know that thing that you're closed to. This is a game that you're just playing with yourself. But think of that thing that you're closed off to. Not interested. Unwilling. And now from this state of consciousness in the practice of Yoga Nidra, hold those two things at the same time. And where does that take you? And where do you go? Just for a moment, visualize your heart space. Leave off that little game and let's play a different one. Dwelling in the heart space. What is the medicine your heart needs right now? What can you give your heart space? This radical self-love practice. What could that embody right now? Does your heart need a hug? Does it need a velvet-covered bed? Does it need a warm bath? What would it be to tend to your heart? You're already doing it, resting your bones. How can you truly dwell in the center of your personal medicine wheel? Sometimes I think of this space as a garden. What would you plant here, cultivate, cover all the directions in? How would you paint this garden within? Would anybody else be welcome in it? It's not a prerequisite. This place is your personal refuge. Not necessarily an escape, a centering, an orienteering, if you will. allowing yourself a little communion time here in the magical garden palace in the heart. Here, engaged in an act of radical self-love. Pausing. Being. Breathing. Cultivating. Germinating. Hibernating. Quiet transformation in deep rest spaces. Whatever's the image you're holding, just let that dissolve as you return to the flow of your breath. And our transformative work. The agitation, the catalyst for change, must run parallelly to the balm nourishment of rest. And through this process, as we emerge from this rest experience, renewed, resourced, we are creating the fertile ground for the possibility of transformation. The fertile ground doesn't exist until we co-create it. It will be hearts coming together, gardens amassing into forests, into interconnected ecosystems. It will not just be through destruction, through the renewal of fire. Sometimes we may apply that tool as well. Our journey must be in alignment with the principles of nature. And a reconnection to the nature within that is inherently paradoxical. This practice is finding its way towards its conclusion. Here we are in the liminal in-between spaces. Allow yourself a few minutes of process to emerge. A deepening of the breath, a gentle wiggling of fingers of toes. When you're ready for bigger movements, stretching of arms and undulating of legs and toes, the sounds of stretching. Opening the eyes only when you're ready with a few gentle blinks. Drawing the knees in towards the chest, stretching the low back, adopting a different position, side laying, coming onto the belly. Just listening to the body, listening and flowing and following. We're still in the slight in-between space. Maybe you're carrying back some wisdom, observations, insights. A moment to journal, to draw, to sketch, to catch that audio note. Rest is a continuum. When we dip into its rejuvenative waters, we are renewed, and when we return, we are fresh and different and transformed. Allow yourself the moment to experience that, to be in the presencing of that. Who knows what powers we could reclaim by resting together. I'll call this practice officially complete, and I thank you for listening.